Fear not the dead, rather the living.
Welcome to Phantasm Paranormal. I'm Reverend Dave Christensen, director and lead investigator of the organization. I want to talk to you about the 1889 McInteer Villa in Atchison, Kansas. If you guys are interested in the paranormal, that's a place to go. That is one heck of a haunted place. We figure there's at least 10 spirits in the house, and most of them are friendly. We haven't had any problems with them at all. But I'm going to show you a video slideshow of some of the rooms inside the villa. This place is very interesting, and the inside of the house is just beautiful. But there's quite a few deaths occurred in the house since it was built. The first one was Alice McInteer. She was the first wife of John McInteer, and she died in December 1891. Anna Conlon, Anna's mother, died in 1898. John McInteer died July 17th, 1902. Anna McInteer, second wife of John McInteer, died in December 9th, 2016. Now, we don't know if she was aged 57 or 58 at the time of her death. Charles Donovan, Anna's son, committed suicide in 1922. A 4-day-old infant girl died in 1924. Isabel, also known as Goldie Altis, died from natural causes on December 15th, 1969. George Giraldi hung himself in the attic in 2006. Thelma Giraldi died in 2011. Those are the people that passed away in the house, but I'm sure there's a few more. There was a young girl. She was in her early teens and she became pregnant. And back in those days, if you were pregnant and not married, people would ignore you. They'd turn their back on you. You'd be an outcast. Nobody would want anything to do with you. So they kept the girl in the house until she gave birth to the baby. Then they took the baby and drowned it and buried it in the corner in one of the rooms in the basement. And we think we know where the baby is buried. There's some evidence pointing to the location, but some of the members did interviews with me talking about their experiences at the McInteer Villa. I'm going to play those interviews for you. The first one is my wife, Leslie, Jason, my stepson, and his wife, Angela. I'm going to play it now.
What?
You're going to introduce everybody?
Oh, okay. I'm Leslie.
I'm Angela.
I'm Jason.
And we're here to talk about our weekend at the McInteer Villa.
McInteer or
McInteer. McInteer Villa.
McInteer Villa. Okay. I was like, which way is it supposed to be?
I don't know.
If
They were Irish. What the heck?
Yeah, true.
Okay, so Jason's got a list of things we got, starting with the doll room.
so, in the doll room, we were in there for about an hour. Conversation seemed to involved an adult male spirit at first, and then later multiple people. We were using an app that will pick up ambient sound and generate words based on it, and we were using that to help guide our conversation. And it seemed to get pretty good results. Initially, when there were a lot of us in the room, the first word that came up was fewer. And when some of the people left, we started getting more results. There were quite a bit, and of course I won't go into all of it because it's a large list, but the back and forth between conversations, sometimes when we'd be asking a question, we'd get a response that clearly related to that, and then sometimes while we were trying to figure out what something else meant, we'd get another word. Like there was one that said subsidy. We're like, well, subsidy for what? And we're trying to figure out what that was about, and then it said plants. So we felt that that may have been in reference to someone that was there that maybe had connection to farming, because we know the government will sometimes subsidize farmers either to plant certain things or to not plant certain things. So that was rather interesting. And then also right at the end of that one, when we said that we were getting ready to wrap up, it actually said finished. So it was like the people there were acknowledging that the conversation was finished. And so that was very interesting. And it was nice to get, verification that app actually works. Because you get so many that this could be a game. It could be something usable.
What was the name of the app?
That one is wrong set. Ghost Hunting Tools. That's the one that we were using in there.
Yeah, it doesn't have all the noise.
Yeah, no, that was the one that does.
That's the one that
generate
does have the noise. But
That
you
was
can turn
why
the noise on. You can turn the.
But you can turn the noise off
Okay.
on it, and she just wasn't aware of that. But later I was using the same one in other rooms, but I had it going through my earpiece
Yeah.
instead of the phone speaker, so we weren't getting that excess noise on the digital recorders.
On the EMF,
Right.
yeah.
But yeah, that one does give you an audible representation of the sound it's picking up.
Mm-hmm. I know at one point we were doing that one in the doll room. We couldn't figure out whether or not we had more than one person there. Was that the room that I said something about there may be more than one spirit here?
And
And
immediately
Ghostbusters
after that, it said
right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It did answer and it said right.
Mm-hmm. At which point it also said introduction, and we went around the room and introduced ourselves
Yeah, introduced
to
ourselves.
whoever was there.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of the things we got in that room that night made very little sense to us at first. We got things like, first we got a name.
We got several names in that.
Well,
room.
several names, but I think the first name was Jessica, wasn't it?
Yeah, that sounds right, but that would have
Yeah.
been in the east sitting room.
I don't know.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
Jessica was in the other room. The
Did we get a
the
name?
name we got in that room was Andrew.
Yeah, and we thought maybe he was
we were talking about Andy.
Yeah.
Right, we thought, it may have been talking about Andy, the person who does some of the repair work there.
Yeah.
It was in the library where we got the name Walter.
Yeah.
That may have been connected to somebody from Canada or who had been to Canada, because we got the word Canada
Canada in that room
in
as
there.
well.
So,
He might have been Canadian.
right. And then the East Sitting Room, that's where we got
all the names.
a number of names in there. That's where Jessica was. The thing that stood out to me on that one, with that app giving us words and whatnot, was that when Ken played the Victrola
Yes.
with the old recording,
It said dislike.
yeah, in the middle of the music playing, the app said dislike.
Did not like the old music playing on the
Yeah.
That wasn't that old compared to how long some of the spirits
Yeah.
have been in there, but still.
But still, apparently,
It didn't like the
didn't
music.
like that
yeah.
music, and
Didn't
maybe
like
it's
that
just
music.
because people play it too much.
That could be.
Well, either that or some of the spirits aren't as old as the house.
Oh,
that's,
yeah, it's
that's
in-
always very possible.
When
too.
you've got a place with a long history, you could have some that are much younger than the house.
Yeah, somebody that just liked the house and went back there.
Yeah. The other thing that we did get a lot of words like bloody, torture.
Yeah, in the sitting room is where we
Abused.
got hanged, torturer, trapped,
Yep.
and drowned,
Yeah, and we got
all in that area.
drowned
Yeah.
3 different times that night.
Yeah, in multiple rooms.
In several
In
rooms.
several
Yeah.
rooms.
We also, down in the dining room, got that's where we got burned.
Mm-hmm.
And that was almost at the same time as the people in the basement
Yeah.
got a similar result, talking about burned.
That's when she said, that's when Angie came up from the basement and went outside.
Mm-hmm.
And she said she felt like she was on fire. She was so hot. And when I touched her, she really was hot to the touch. And then she cooled off and everything was fine.
Yeah, she was extremely warm.
She was very warm. So whatever was going on down there, it really physically affected her.
And then immediately upon coming up from the basement, the effects started to break. That
Subside.
was something that she noted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also when she came out and was telling me she felt like she was on fire, the ghost box said fire
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in the dining room.
in the dining room. So I thought that was pretty odd.
And that and the wow iPad thing that it was
Yeah.
running on at that time was well more than 50 feet from where she was.
Oh yeah. Plus she was outside.
Yeah.
So
So it's not like it was picking up her
no,
talking
it wasn't
and
picking up her.
spitting the words out. So that was
So that was really interesting. The other thing that we got was when we were upstairs, we were trying to figure out who we were talking to, and we figured it was a girl. And she said she was 11.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I got
That
that
was
much.
in the sitting room.
Mm-hmm.
That's where the first name that we got was Jessica.
Yeah, that's right.
And it said 11. And that's also where it actually asked, "What is your name?"
Yes.
Oh, it asked
It
you?
asked us.
Yes.
What's
What
your
is
name?
That phrase came up on the app.
Yeah, so we
Huh.
told her our
that was
names.
going, and so we
Yeah.
introduced ourselves there. And
when
then
we
it
were-
also said, "I see you."
Yeah,
And then when we started to feel like we might be talking to more than one person, that's when we got other names popped up, and it said Alex, Jeremy, Madison, and Royal all came up.
yeah.
So it was possible that there were other people, other spirits there.
True.
that
And
were-
Royal sounds like a dog.
Well, I've
dog name.
also known a person named
Named
Royal.
Royal.
I'm
yeah.
just saying,
So-
could have been their dog.
So yeah, but then around at 10:39, we got "I hear you"
Yeah,
as a phrase on it, and then when we were wrapping up at 10:44, it said "I'm leaving." Just
yeah.
you know.
And then when
Just like in the doll room where it said
Just-
finished.
yeah.
finished,
Yeah, this one says I'm leaving.
And I'm not sure, but I think we might have been followed around by the same spirit
Mhm.
throughout the whole upstairs.
Yeah, it's entirely possible.
I mean, it was like one big long conversation.
Now, when that spirit's, we got a video where you can hear you, Leslie, saying, the spirit box says, "I can see you."
Yeah,
Mhm.
And then you said, we can see you too. We got cameras.
yeah,
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah.
yeah. That's when it all took place.
Yeah. I got a video clip of that.
Yeah, so
Oh, wait. No, it's an audio
it's
clip.
an audio.
Yeah, that would be an
clip.
audio clip.
That would
Yeah.
be
We
my
had-
EVP.
Yeah,
Yeah.
because that was during that EVP. We had two different apps going, and so I was writing down what we got at each time.
Now,
with
which,
the timestamps.
which room was this in?
But that
It
was,
was
the
the
sitting
second
room.
floor, so
Second
there was the
floor,
sitting-
East End.
Sitting room, library, and the doll room are where we did our investigation. Okay. And while we were up there, everybody else was wandering around down in the basement.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Originally, we started in the doll room, and it was just the four of us, you
It was
to
the three of
me and
us
Pam.
and Pam.
and
right.
Pam. And then as we're sitting there getting started,
Robert comes in.
Robert and Ken came in
Mm-hmm.
and sat down.
And that's when the app said
No.
fewer.
It's when Angie
and Chris
Oh,
came
yeah.
Chris
upstairs.
came in.
Mm-hmm.
So then
So
we had
they-
8 people in the room.
Then we had 8 people in the room, and it said fewer. So we said, "Are there too many people here?" And I don't think it answered us. But
No, it didn't answer,
for
but
the
after
peop-
4 people left, it said introduction.
yeah. So those 4 left, and that's when they went downstairs to the basement.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So we continued on from that point in the doll room, and then moved from there to the library and the sitting room.
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like one big long conversation. So I really believe that whoever started our conversation with us stayed with us throughout most of the night.
Yeah, but I still think it was more than one.
Oh, I'm
because-
No,
sure
I'm
there
sure it
was
was
more
more
than-
than one person. I just think that at least one
stayed with
stayed
us
with us the
the whole
whole time.
time we were up there.
Yeah.
So it was It was interesting, but it wasn't until the next, was it the next day or was it later in the evening?
What?
Before I went and laid down, that we found out that while we were talking to the people upstairs, all the information we got
While we were in
the
doll room, or the kids' room, was
And
being
this-
paralleled
with what was going on in
in the basement,
basement,
2
yeah.
floors away.
What Angie was seeing in the basement, 2 floors away.
So Andrew was experiencing visual effects in the basement. We were getting audio, and it all fit together like a picture puzzle.
It's like somebody from downstairs was talking to you upstairs.
Almost.
Mm-hmm.
Or like
Almost.
people that were upstairs were telling us about things that had gone on downstairs.
Yeah.
And she was seeing all those things that had gone on.
Okay.
Okay, so then we started putting the whole story together.
Okay. That it?
As far as I know, yeah.
Yeah, their impressions on the house itself. It's absolutely beautiful. Overall energy in the house seemed very calm. As far as it wasn't aggressive toward any of us or trying to get any of us to leave. It seemed very comfortable with having people there.
Yeah, but the way we investigate is totally different from how other people do it.
Yeah. I
We
mean,
don't have
just the
trigger items, and we
right.
don't
Well,
say
in fact,
things.
just the fact that the investigation started off with Ken going floor by floor saying, this is who we are, this is why we're here to be respectful, and then at the end going back floor by floor and thanking them for having us and everything. I'm sure if other people have had, I guess what you would tally spookier or more negative experiences in the place, it could simply be their approach.
Yeah.
It could be.
Yeah.
I mean, they had one group that actually left. They packed up everything and left because the house scared them. I didn't find anything in the house that scared me.
No.
Oh my gosh. There wasn't anything
Matter
there
of
to
fact,
be scared of.
most
mannequins
areas of the
got me
house
more
I
than
felt
anything else. Go
welcome.
to walk around.
Especially
Especially when the storm was going and you're getting flashes of lightning and you're coming around a corner and you get a flash of lightning and it gives you a weird shadow off of one of those mannequins, especially the old lady one in the parlor.
The wizard.
That one, it's a very realistic figure and it's great.
it
And
is.
as you're coming around the corner and you get a flash of lightning, there she is. It's like, oh, yeah, that's the mannequin
That's
again.
Goldie.
Okay.
And,
So we all done?
Yep.
Yep.
Okay. Thanks, everybody. Okay, the next interview is going to be with Angie, Chris, and Robert. And they're no longer members. They decided to quit after things happened to them. But I'll play the interview with them right now. Okay, I'm recording.
Okay, hi.
Okay.
Hi, my name's Robert. I'm Angela.
Chris.
Okay, you guys go ahead and tell about your experiences of what you felt and thought of the villa.
I think everything started for me and Angela here in the servants' quarters. Don't you think?
Where's the servants' quarter?
You know where the stairs were that the servants went up on that side?
Where the guy hung himself.
And we were like, there's something that guy that hung himself.
And we pointed exactly to the same spot at the same exact time.
And I did a recording on things, and I ended up catching something that said, "That's me."
I have this, I don't know, I sensed that somebody was either, they hung themselves or got hung in that spot right there by the stairs. It was a very heavy feeling, and so I knew something bad had happened, and that's heavy, it's something that's not turmoil or something like that.
Even before we got there, both me and her said there was a little girl in the window and pointed to the area.
On the back side of the house, and we looked up, and I said, there's a little girl right there, and we both pointed to her at the same time. Mm-hmm. So, just before we went in there, we knew that there was lots of presence of things in there.
Psychology explains, that if two people experience the same phenomenon, that it's most likely provable that it's not just a supernatural matter, that there's actual fact to it. There's no such thing as a shared delusion, so you're right to account.
Yeah, two people can't share the same delusion, I guess.
I think Chris, when he was down there with Angela,
Hold
he
on.
started feeling really hot. Hold on.
Oh, talk about the hot. Okay. So Chris and I and Ken, is that who was down there? Ken, we were all downstairs, and we had the meter.
It was the EVP recorder.
EMF meter when we were going down the stairs, right before we started to go down the stairs in the, what is it called? The doorway.
Yep.
There was a very high reading. It went all the way. It kept flashing red, hitting red, hitting
And
red.
every time anybody went in that area, like all of us went there was always a higher reading than one spot. It never went
Where was this?
At the very top of the basement
Yep,
stairs,
it was very top.
right in the threshold. But once you pass that threshold of the top of the stairs, it was relieved. Like
plummeted.
the feeling just it
Quit.
went away, and the meter went completely down to nothing. And then you got to the bottom of the stairs, and then I don't know what happened.
Well, when I first went downstairs, I didn't have any EMF reading at the top of the stairs, but in the far back room, it really picked up for me, and then pretty much followed me to the top of the stairs, and then we were all getting high readings at the top of the stairs when we crossed that threshold.
Yeah.
And then again, not really anywhere in the basement, but that far back room.
Actually, in that same spot he's talking about, I ended up catching something saying, "They're coming." I don't know what it meant, but I know that when she was in there, she felt this really sharp pain in her stomach. And
Yeah, my stomach was in knots. Like that was after
Hold it.
Yeah, I felt like I was on fire.
so,
But when I went down there with Chris and Ken, we started to go into the back room where they were getting the high readings at. And the minute I stepped into that back room, I don't know, from my feet all the way to my head, I felt like my whole body, like my core, was literally burning on fire. And I started sweating, and I was clamming, I was freaking out, and I took off running upstairs, and I went directly outside, and I talked to Dave and his wife, and I was sweaty, and they felt my head, and I felt like I was burning on fire. And come to find out, the next morning when there was light, and it was light down there, it looked like there was an infirmary that they had put brick over to cover it up, right on the right side of where I was standing when I actually felt like I was on fire.
I think it was because she was a female and that sense of like childhood and everything else. She felt that a lot more present than myself.
Yeah, and that feeling was very, I don't know, my whole core was on fire, and it was very scary. And then on my way up, I just had this flash, and I saw this young girl. I don't know if she could have been anywhere from like 10 to 13 years old, possibly. And she had a very light blue dress on and like this white thing that covered over the top. Like, I don't know if it was an apron or whatnot. And she had blood just from like her private areas all the way up, almost to her neck, just covered in blood. And she had the look of like holy terror on her face. Like it was like she was scared, and all the like she was scared and she didn't know what was going on, and all that fear in her eyes I could see. And then, and then I ran upstairs.
What did the girl look like?
She had either blonde hair or strawberry blonde hair, but when I went upstairs later, I found out from the owner's husband that he had also seen the same girl downstairs too. Described her just as I had described her to him,
And
which
I
I
know
thought
me
was
and her
odd.
both thought we saw her right in that window. Not so much physically, but we could get like a mental picture of what she looked like.
Yeah.
I know later on towards the night, Angela and Chris were sleeping upstairs, and
Can you keep waking us up?
Dave's wife was actually down in another room.
Oh yeah, wait, hold on. But at the same time that I was on fire, the little thing, the spirit box upstairs, at the same time it said fire. That I came up the stairs.
Yep.
Is that how I don't even know.
Yeah, and I know
Oh,
the
yeah.
same time that happened,
Yeah.
when she was at the top of the stairs, they were still playing with the spirit box, and something said hairs that played with her hair.
Oh yeah, there was somebody playing with my hair when we were sleeping, and I was freaking out because you're like, Chris is like, it's just gravity, go back to bed, and my hair's going like this, and I'm like, yeah, gravity's down. What are you talking about?
I tried. I didn't personally see or hear too much when I was there. EMF readings were the main thing that I get.
I know the first day, or the first time we went up there, she was like, is this bird poop? And then something's like, no.
I don't know. Go ahead. What were you saying?
That was about it.
All right,
You were getting messed with when I was trying to sleep.
and tell me it's gravity. That's not gravity, dude. Your hair's going up.
And then me turning off the lights on you.
Yeah, and shutting the door.
I didn't shut the door.
Well, somebody shut the door when we were up there.
No, I shut the door once when I was going through towards the last part of the night, but I never shut it.
You had too much coffee. But anyways, the next day, it was like the greatest look for me because I had the meter, and I was talking to somebody, and they told me to get the baby out, and I don't know what that was, but it said so on the spirit box. It played back. It said little Jesus, and then I kept talking to this person. I don't know. I think it was a girl, and she said, "Get the baby out." I said, "How can I help you?" She said, "Get the baby out," and yeah, and I was supposed to go back and talk to her, and I never did, and I feel bad about that. So yeah,
I know when we
there's
were
that.
downstairs, I ended up feeling something, and I could get like a general idea where it was. And I kept having him like point the spirit box to where it was so it could talk. And he kept trying to talk to us, whatever that figure was down in the room. And you know, we would get like little tidbits, but nothing really clear. Your son, and then the older chap.
You heard that.
Yeah.
Uh-oh, we're running low on power.
Okay.
But I think that about sums up our experiences.
It was pretty amazing.
It was.
Now, that hole downstairs in the corner
Yeah.
that something was digging at, I have a funny feeling that's what she meant by get the baby out.
Yeah.
I think there's something, a baby buried there.
Yeah.
They probably want to, release her spirit.
They probably did a lot of bad things in that basement, and I think that the Lady Goldie that used to live there is my theory on the whole thing. I think the Lady Goldie that they found passed away in that rocking chair with the pistol and with all black. I think, honestly, I think she was a witch, but I think she was a good witch. And I think she placed like some kind of spell or something, so whatever is down in the basement cannot come up. Like there's a barrier.
That's
Yep.
the same thing Jason said.
And I'm good. Yeah. Well, that was my theory.
Maybe she prayed to God, and she's like, God, protect us, make it so nothing can cross this threshold.
And I
Yeah.
think she was sitting there with her pistol to protect whatever was in there, the little girl or whatever's upstairs.
Yeah, Jason is a Wiccan.
Yeah.
And he went down there and he came back up. And he thinks the same thing, that Goldie put a spell or something on that door to keep whatever's negative down there.
And if I may, that lady that camps out outside of the house all the time, the lady that said she was an oracle, I think that possibly my theory with this, I know
She gave me an off feeling.
she was back there and I didn't know the story behind it until afterwards, but we heard that she sets out and asks people that go in there as groups if she can go in with them. And I've never in my life said anything about anything to anybody that's not normal. And I looked at her and I said, "So how long have you been practicing?" And she knew exactly what I meant. And she said, "That's what the demons tell me is I'm a witch." And I'm like, "Oh shit." And it occurred to me that possibly, maybe she wants to get in there to undo that spell is what my theory is. Because she did not have a good
She
vibe.
gave me a bad
And I
feeling,
think that she practiced probably black magic is what I think. I don't know. But I've never talked to any other person in the world like that, and I just looked her dead in the eye and I said, "How long have you been practicing?" And she just looked at me like, "Oh shit." And she's like, "I'm an oracle." Well, an oracle is not, there's no demons that are going to call a witch a demon, or whatever. Demons are not going to call an oracle a witch if she's not.
I did notice her speech patterns, because I also
But
studied
she knew
vocal
right away what I was
analysis,
talking about.
that her speech patterns were very irregular, and they were very chaotic. And
Yeah.
formulating sentences, it was almost as if she had some sort of substance that she was abusing.
Yeah, she didn't seem like her mind was on track with what she was
She
talking.
just wanted to
She
know
jumped
how.
around too much.
She did.
Yeah. Okay,
That's
I'm going to
my
shut
thoughts
this
on
thing
that.
off.
All right.
Okay. Thank you guys for chatting with
Thank
us.
you.
I didn't just pay for it.
Okay, that was Angie, Robert, and Chris. Now, Angie mentioned the baby being buried in the basement, so I'm pretty sure we know where it's located. And she also mentioned about her temperature going up while she's in the basement. I've got a video of her going down the basement, and all of a sudden the heat just started to overcome her and she came upstairs. But first I want to play for you the interview from Bob. He's one of our members, and that was the first time he went on an investigation with us. So here's Bob now.
Hello, my name is Bob McGinnis. I've never done this before, so bear with me. I just wanted to make a little video about the trip I was allowed to go along on to investigate McInteer Villa in Atchison, Kansas. It was, personally, I didn't experience anything myself, but I did see a few things that were very interesting. One was when we were being shown the house, the tour in the basement, while the lady was talking, one of the little balls had lit up in between the skeleton's legs. So that was something different. Nobody was close enough to it to set it off with any kind of motion or anything. Later on in the evening, just watching some of the videos and the possible globes floating around or little shadows, which could have been dust too, but I think Dave is going to debunk most of that stuff. Then there was also later on, well, maybe not so later on. I'm not sure exactly what time it was, but there were 3 people down in the basement, and Angie came upstairs saying she was feeling hot and everything, and went outside. And later on, when we were kind of coordinating everything, there were some people up on the second floor with a iPad that had an app that would spell out words that it picked up. And talking with Angie and figuring everything out. At the same time, she was feeling hot downstairs. The app said fire. Also, there was her vision of a little girl that she said was covered in blood, and the word 11 popped up. So it's really interesting to see all that like come together. The only other thing I experienced was, I believe, the next day. Angie and Dave and I were going to go downstairs where Angie didn't really want to go, but at the doorway to the stairs, the sensor, I can't remember what you call it, EMF maybe, where the lights flash when there's electrical current, was going off at the top of the stairs. But as you get downstairs, there was nothing much going on down there when we were down there. This was figured out the night before, that at that doorway there was possibly some kind of barrier keeping whatever was downstairs, so it didn't come up. And then later on, Angie and Leslie were in one of the rooms, one of the front room type things. Angie was talking to a little girl, and the lights on the EMF were flashing here and there, and it was just pretty interesting that when she would ask a question, the lights would flash. But I'm not sure if any voices were picked up. But all in all, it was a pretty neat experience, and hopefully I can do it again. I'm kind of a skeptic, but I might be leaning the other way a little bit. Personally, I don't think I'm in tune with spirits, so at least I haven't felt anything yet. Hoping I do, so it can convince me. But that's pretty much about all I can think of. Like I said, it was very interesting, and seeing some of the after effects that Dave has shown us is pretty interesting as well. So I want to thank you for listening. I hope this isn't too long, but we will hopefully see all of you, or I will hopefully see all of you again sometime. And probably not everybody if this video gets shown on Facebook or wherever, but thank you for listening.
Okay, now you've heard about everybody talking about Angie's experience in the basement with her temperature going up. I'm going to play the video that they took of their trip down the basement, and you will hear Angie talking about her temperature rising. Well, when I got her outside and I took her temperature was 105. That was quite a bit above normal. So here's Angie with her experience down the basement.
How do you turn this on?
Is it going nuts? Is it going off? Jesus Christ, dude. Okay, show that on the camera. Hold on. It's going nuts. I'm not going down there.
I'm going down.
No, did you see that? Show him.
What?
Look, it's going. It goes ballistic. Look at that. Look at that. Are y'all ready for this?
Is there something that you want to say about us going down these stairs?
Me first. Be careful, Tony. Hi. Chris, I can hear something already.
At the bottom of the stairs.
Okay. Me and Chris and I and John Q's going downstairs.
Now it moved.
It did. Let him know that we're down here. He wants us to let him know that we're down here.
Alright, we're coming down the stairs.
Okay.
This box I'm holding in my hand, you can feel free to talk if you'd like. I'm gonna come down here by myself.
There's orbs in there. I see them. Yep, look. Look.
You gotta be quiet with the recording.
Oh, sorry. Oh, never mind, they're left. There was orbs, 2 of them in here.
Do you want us down here tonight?
Whoa. Hello? Is anybody in here? Hello? We come in peace and love. We want to help you. Yes. He's right, they don't like him. He's right. We're in the basement of the villa.
Alright, I'm recording. Is there anything that you'd like to say?
Why does it keep turning off?
Do you not want us to record?
Whoa. Okay, I'm gonna go. No, it froze. It froze on me.
You really don't want us down
There's
here,
all
do
this
you?
stuff on here.
Are you sitting in this chair?
I'm on fire. I gotta go upstairs. I'm hot. Oh shit. I don't feel very good. Yeah, I gotta get outside right now. But I'm hot. Why is it so hot? Dude,
You need to get out. Come on.
Feel me, I'm sweaty. Chris, come on. Dude,
Outside, come on. Put the camera down.
no. Somebody's got to go get Chris. I'm really hot.
Like I said, Angie's temperature was 105 when I checked it. And we can't explain why she got so hot, but she did. Okay? Now, it's an amazing place. I'm going to show you some ghost pictures that we got at the mansion, okay? Now, you can't see it here, but you'll see it here in a minute. There's a shadow man standing in a doorway. He's right there. See him now? Now, there's also another shadow man here. He's inside the other room. You can barely see him through the door there. There he is. There's an enlargement of him. Now, you can't really make out what's back there behind the stairs, but there's a woman standing there in a long dress. There she is right there. I'll get an enlargement of her. There she is. You can barely make her out. But there's another shadow man right there. Now, if you look up in the top left corner, you can see a face. Now, look down towards the end of the hall. You can see somebody peeking out from the doorway. I think it's a little boy, but you can see his face there a little bit. Now this, excuse me, this one is really bizarre. That woman standing there at the end of the hallway is a full-blown apparition. You can barely see through her, but there was no one there with us that had a long white like nightgown on with long hair. You can see her there better, and you can see through her a little bit, but not much. Now, there's something in the doorway there. There's a shadow man in there. You can barely make him out. But over here, in the left corner, you can see where the camera tracked a woman and a little girl in the corner there. And we got quite a few other pictures, but most of them were orbs. And we got quite a few videos of different things too. But I'm going to show you a shadow man that showed up while Chris was down in the basement investigating. Watch carefully. Now there's the shadow man. He appeared across the room. See him now over by the curtain in the window in the far left. Chris is walking around. He's getting readings, but you can't see the meter. Now watch close again. Watch over by that, looks like a bird cage. See it there? There's a shadow man there. And he'll disappear, and then he'll show up in front of the window on the far left. See him there? Now he's gone.
Alright. Is there anything that you'd like to say?
Yeah, that was pretty interesting, seeing that shadow man there. While Chris was in that room, there was kind of a whistling noise that occurred before and after the shadow man showed up there. Now, here's another one. This one is hard to see. It's an apparition of a spirit coming from the wall on the left-hand side, walking out into the room, turning and facing the camera, turning back around, and start walking away and vanishes. You got to watch really close. Watch far left. There he comes. It's hard to see him. Now he turns and faces the camera. Now he turns back and he walks away and fades away. Here he is again. Here he comes. He's walking out into the room, turning, facing the camera, turning back around and walking away. It looks like he's holding an antique lantern. Here it is again. There he is. He's coming through. He's turning. Turning back around and walking off. Those are some of the things that we got at the villa. I didn't play all of everything that we got because we got a lot of stuff. But if you go to the villa to investigate, do not use a Ouija board. Don't use a Ouija board or anything else like that. And when you're in there, be respectful to the spirits. Don't use trigger items because that makes them angry. And it can cause you a lot of problems. But anyway, I got to get out of here. I got a lot of things I got to do today. So I'll talk at you all later. Have a good day.
Come back to see us. I will be watching for you.